Aloha everybody, this is Kaypacha and with the weekly Pele report, and this one is actually for April 13th, and I know some of you like the shots of nature and the beach and the jungle and the path, but some of you also like to see the actual astrology that's going on, so I'm going for it today because there's big stuff happening this week, and it started a long time ago, but what I have here and I want you to pay attention to is Mars in Scorpio at 21 degrees. Okay, it moves up to 23 degrees a couple days after February 14th. The other thing I want you to be watching here is this planet Uranus. Goes around every 85 years. And today I'm going to talk about Eris, the goddess of chaos and discord. Yeah, discovered in 2005, 2006. She has a 560-year orbit. So you can see Uranus and Eris don't get together very often, but they're getting together now. I want you to be watching that. And then lastly, look at this T-square going on here with Saturn and the moon's nodes. 15 degrees to 22. Jupiter squaring Saturn at 15. Chiron squaring Saturn at 15. Now let's watch what happens February 14. Here we go. I'm going to go week by week. Boom. What we can see then is Mars went into Sagittarius in the beginning of March. Okay, March 6th. Mars comes, into Sagittarius. And let's keep going. See, the sun moves into Eris over here for the spring equinox in the northern hemisphere. And then we come up to today, like this week, Sunday. You see Mars stations. This S means stations. It means that it stops. Okay, it means really, in astrology, the Earth is always opposite the Sun. So the Earth is right here, and the Earth is approaching Mars. So it looks like Mars is going backwards, retrograde, optical phenomena. But nonetheless, from Sunday, April 17th, Mars stations and goes retrograde. But what do we also see here? If we go back just a week, we see Uranus, Sun, Eris, 20, 21, 22. Discord, sudden unpredictable events in the sign of war, and and then we have Mars. Eris is actually the sister of Mars, Eris. Okay, so she's really strong in Eris. It's her brother, and of course Mars is just the Roman name for Eris, the god of war, going stationing and going retrograde. Let's see what happens here now as we go a little farther. See, Mars goes backwards and it goes back into Scorpio. So Mars goes back into Scorpio on May 27th. And it goes all the way back to where it started, where I started today. Here we are. 23 degrees of Scorpio. Stations and goes direct. And that's July 3rd. It actually stations and goes direct on the 29th. Yeah. So from April 17th until June 29th, we have Mars retrograde. I'm going to talk about that today. Okay? And then it stays in Scorpio. Boom, there you can see it just goes into Sagittarius on August 2nd. So we have this dip, right? Mars started in Scorpio, went into Sag, went retrograde back into Scorpio, and then it's back into Sagittarius until we come around again, and this is, I think, a very interesting period, because here now we have this Saturn square the nodes, which I'm going to talk about. It's been going on for quite a long time, and it's still going to be going on in September. And then here we have, this is right around the eclipse Sun conjunct the north node of the moon. The eclipse is on September 1st. Okay, but here you can see that, so we have the Sun squaring Saturn and Mars squaring the moon's nodes, Saturn squaring the moon's nodes, and let's not forget about Neptune over there. And what else is happening right around the eclipse? Uranus and Eris, again, at exactly the same degree of 23 degrees. So these are some themes, okay, that I would like to talk about. And we can really say that this Uranus-Eris conjunction is going on from now until March of 2017. I'm just going to go forward here. Just watch this over here because it's... Oh, that's too slow. There it goes. Boom, 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 boom. And you can see that in March of 2017, Uranus will finally pass over Eris, 23 degrees, and move on. Yeah. Until that time, you can see this is going, well, I don't need to go any farther. Let me talk at the camera and stop these planets from moving. Okay. Hola. I'm inside because I wanted to do a little theatrical performance today. Got my guitar. This is a song I wrote called To Know. Hear that? Let's do it one more time. I'll go a little farther. So we're talking about Eris, the goddess of discord, suffering, chaos. Conjunct the planet Uranus, revolution, rebellion. Conjunct the sun, which comes around just every once in a while, yeah? This all Sun, Uranus, Eris conjunct. It's a time of discord, war, disagreements, disharmony, conflict, in a very powerful, emotional, angry way. If we look at the mythology of Eris, just one little short, snippet, is that she's not invited to the wedding party. Okay, she's not invited to the celebration. Who wants discord at their party? So she's not invited, so she gets angry. And she comes in on a horse and raids the party and throws down a golden apple. In between the goddesses, Hera, the wife of Zeus, Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, and Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war. And on the apple, the golden apple, is written, "To the fairest." Talk about creating discord. Yes, like Zeus picks up the apple and he says, "I don't want to have anything to do with this." And this is the kind of a thing that we can be in right now. It's like, who's the fairest? Who's the smartest? Who's the richest? Who's the wisest? Who's the coolest? and it's just like, I was looking at this whole thing. This is Mars coming up to station and go retrograde in Sagittarius. This is Saturn squaring Jupiter, the ruler of Sagittarius. This is Saturn squaring the moon's nodes going on, for like 9 months, right up until September. We are in this, Saturn square the nodes, first of all, is a time of decision-making. A long-term decision-making process that affects the destiny of the soul. The moon's nodes is the destiny of the soul, from past lives to future soul intention. Saturn coming around to square the nodes, okay, which it only does like every 14 years or so, is a critical turning point. It's like a crossroads. Like, which way am I going to go? So it's very interesting to have it joined by Mars. So we have this Mars-Saturn conjunction, and Saturn, and now Mars going back into Scorpio, going, whoops, forgot something. I got to go back into Scorpio, okay, and really dig up some deeper feelings, issues, needs, desires. I need to maybe cut the cord, because Scorpio has a lot to do with closure, bringing things to closure. And Sagittarius, Saturn in Sagittarius is about truth-telling. And have we told the truth? Can we bring things to closure? Have we said all that we can say? Have we tried all that we can try? Have we gone that extra mile with every relationship, in every conversation, to really dig down to the real truth underlying the decision to come, or the decision to go, or the decision to stay, the decision to commit and contract, or the decision to break that contract? This is a real time of truth-telling. And part of that truth-telling is around our desires and around who we really are, what we really value, and what we really want. So I've been talking about this 2016, this year of purification. This is such like a Virgo process in a way. It's like Saturn in Sag and Jupiter in Virgo at the same time. It's somewhat complementary, and it does bring a lot of discord. Like, who's the fairest, or what's the best path, or what's the, what's most important? How do we make our judgments? How do we make our decisions? So this discord, this Eris, this Sun, Uranus, and it's just like, so I start out with the guitar, and it's just like this kind of thing that's kind of interesting. I mean, I'm an optimist. I try to look for the bright side and like the good side of why. Chaos and discord and suffering, and Eris gave birth, okay, to like all the plagues and diseases and problems that plague humanity and ever will. She's intense, man. 560-year cycle. She's a slow boat. She's way outside Pluto. I'll put a picture here at the end of the Pele report of her orbit, yeah? And it's just, also just discovered in 2005, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2000, it's like this is a new element of human experience that we're now able to see and work with consciously, is discord and chaos. And to me, the positive side of discord and chaos is like that chord. You know how it goes, it's like there's always that minor, augmented, diminished seventh or whatever, and then it pulls out and it makes, the final finale of the song or whatever, It's like we pull out of it. And it's almost like the discord or the disharmony, helps us realize or tune into or hear the frequencies, of love, of harmony, of what's that next vibration. And then it goes into discord and comes back into harmony and goes into disharmony and back into harmony. This is like this breathing process of life. But these times of discord, of conflict, and this is social conflict, this can even be violent military conflict. Mars retrograde, more wars are begun under Mars retrograde, okay, than any other time. Mars only goes retrograde every couple of years. So this is this time period here, okay, from now till June 29th, when Mars goes direct again, okay, where it's like our natural instinctive acting is kind of capped or blocked or inhibited, because it's time for us to look inward and think before acting and feel, okay, and reflect before acting. It's like we're getting blocked. And this can create inner heat. It can create inner turmoil. It can create anger. Yeah? So this is a time where it's maybe healthy to watch our tempers. You know, to watch it and not to just like flip off and just like say the first thing that comes to mind, but maybe, you think a Mercury retrograde slows things down. Oh my God. Wait, this Mars retrograde, and you know, Mercury's going to be going retrograde pretty damn soon too. So we're going to have retrograde Mercury and Mars at the same time. It's almost like, stop! Go back to start. It's a hair-pulling experience, you know. But the good side of it, yeah, the good side of it is like clarity. Yeah. What that to the fairest, so what they have to do is, well, they actually let Paris, a mortal, decide. Okay, and then each one of the goddesses offers Paris, you know, one thing or the other, like choose me, choose me, choose me, choose me, I'm the fairest, I'm the fairest. I'm not going to tell you who wins. Maybe next week or some other time. But this is this thing of weighing. This is Virgo, Jupiter in Virgo, North Node in Virgo. It's like weighing, you know, and looking at and analyzing and really being very careful, discriminating and discerning what is really going to be good in the long run, in the long term, for the most number of people, and blah, 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 and not acting rashly out of ego, self-interest, but like really looking, you know, at the good of the future people, generations, whatever, however you want to say it. So this can be like a really good time, okay, of coming into a sense of values based upon morals, based upon ethical behavior, based upon love. It's bringing the heart into the head and the head into the heart. I call it the heart mind. You know, I think there's this connection. The heart has a greater electromagnetic field than the brain. So it's like thinking with our heart, coming out of this polarized, dualistic ones and zeros, plus and minus, win and lose, good and bad, into this heart space of kindness, generosity, goodness, benevolence. And really, you know, that can change, you know, the outcome. The outcome of the conversation, the outcome of the relationship, the outcome of the enterprise, if you're working with community or a group of people to put on a festival or build a building, or, you know, I mean, it's like when we get into like bigger and bigger and bigger projects, you know, it's all the more need, you know, to work harmoniously and move into this age of Aquarius out of that patriarchal conditioning which wants to compete and separate and make, you know, winners and losers. With the heart space and where we're going as humanity, the possibility is to create win-win situations where there's, you know, a creative solution where everybody benefits. Yeah. So the mantra for this week, oh yeah, and I thought about this one for a while, right? You know, well, I mean, it kind of came to me, but discord, division, and conflict happen every time I get stuck in my head and my point of view and want to be right more than kind. So we can go into Eris, we can go into strife, discord, chaos, judgment, competition, even to the point of violence and war over these next few months. But right now the sun is there, that's why I pointed it out. And the moon is square the sun, you know, this weekend from Cancer to Eris. And so this is like a time where we can really get into that strife or discord, or we can use our moral, ethical, heart, mind to come into a place, you know, where we have to be creative and come up with creative solutions and be kind to one another. It just reminds me of when I saw Santana live in concert, you know. I mean, his parting words, you know, for the night after he played an amazing concert, right, you know, was just, he says, just be kind to one another. Treat each other with kindness. It's just like, yeah, so cool. So the mantra for one more time. Discord, division, and conflict happen every time I get stuck in my head and my point of view and need to be right more than kind. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.